professor want to snap your neck.
Question is, will you accept it or reject it?
Kicking things off at number 5 is a gritty, low-budget gem from 2004's The Mark Unleashed. This flick drops you right into a post-Rapture world that's gone full-on dystopian. Society is run by a charismatic Antichrist figure who's rolling out the infamous Mark of the Beast. Take the implant, you get to eat. Refuse, and you're looking at a one-way ticket to a prison cell. Or worse, the story follows 3 rebels, played by a cast that's a wild throwback: Stephen Baldwin, Kevin Downes, and a pre-Negan Jeffrey Dean Morgan. They get captured and have to navigate a prison full of believers, forcing them to make some heavy choices between their faith and their survival.
I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for their witness to the Word of God.
They got their heads chopped off.
Suddenly the implant doesn't sound so bad.
The action in this film is surprisingly solid for its budget, and seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this early role is a trip. Now, it's definitely a B movie. The production value is what it is, and the messaging can be a little heavy-handed, so I'll probably just say it's not for everyone. But if you're looking for a dark, action-packed adventure that explores themes of rebellion and faith under a totalitarian regime, this is a seriously underrated flick that delivers a compelling ride. Alright, coming next, we have a movie that takes the Rapture and throws it into a blender with a mind-bending gimmick. I'm talking about 2009's In the Blink of an Eye. This one follows a detective, played by Christian film regular David A.R. White, who thinks he's heading out for a relaxing yacht trip after a heroic rescue. But then, people on the boat just vanish. At the same time, the whole world is descending into chaos. To make things even crazier, he gets stuck in a time loop, forced to relive the same terrifying day over and over again. It's basically Groundhog Day meets the Book of Revelation, and it's a wild concept.
Lori? No. We need to call the local police.
What happened? Where's Lori?
I fell asleep on the beach, and when I woke up, she was gone.
Larry and his wife are missing too.
All of a sudden, there was this flash of light, and I couldn't find him anywhere.
This is a total gem if you love thrillers with a puzzle box narrative. The mystery of why he's stuck in this loop while the world ends is a fantastic hook that keeps you guessing. The film does a killer job of building suspense and a sense of surreal dread. Let's be real though, it's an indie flick and it shows. The production feels a bit like a high-end TV movie, and it leans on some predictable thriller tropes. But if you can look past the budget, you get a genuinely clever and unique take on the Rapture. For fans of supernatural mysteries and time loop stories, In the Blink of an Eye is an absolute must-watch. Next, we're dialing it back to a time before Y2K was the only apocalypse we were worried about with 1999's The Moment After. Instead of focusing on the chaos in the streets, this flick takes a different angle. The official investigation. Millions have disappeared, and 2 FBI agents are tasked with figuring out what happened. This isn't your typical disaster movie, because it plays out like a gritty, slow-burn procedural thriller. The agents track down a mysterious figure named Jacob Krause, and the deeper they dig, the more the evidence starts pointing toward biblical prophecy.
You guys know what happened?
No, sir, we don't.
Each and every one of you has a very difficult job ahead. Good luck.
Turn around and put your hands on the back of your head.
What makes this movie a standout is its grounded, realistic approach. It explores the political and social fallout of the Rapture, showing how governments would realistically react by declaring martial law and trying to control the narrative. The performances from David A.R. White and Kevin Downes are solid, selling the tension of 2 professionals trying to make sense of the unbelievable. Now, if you're coming in expecting end-of-the-world action, you might find the pacing a bit slow. But if you appreciate a good mystery and a thought-provoking story that explores faith through the lens of a government conspiracy thriller, The Moment After is a total banger. Cracking our number 2 spot is a film that is, without a doubt, the most intense and artistically daring on this list. Michael Tolkin's 1991 masterpiece, The Rapture. Forget everything you think you know about faith-based films. This ain't it. This is a dark, unsettling, and powerful psychological drama. The film stars Mimi Rogers in an absolute killer performance as Sharon, a telephone operator living a life of empty promiscuity. She stumbles into a Christian sect that believes the end is near and becomes a devout believer. However, after a horrific tragedy, her faith is pushed to its absolute limit, leading to a devastating journey into the desert to await the final trumpet call.
Going on? What? The dream. The pearl. If everybody's getting this dream, how come it isn't on the news?
Those who need to know.
Those that don't believe won't get the
This movie is a gut punch. It's less about the spectacle of the apocalypse and more about the terrifying, messy, and deeply personal nature of faith itself. Tolkien's direction is unflinching, creating a mood that's both beautiful and deeply disturbing. It feels less like a Christian movie and more like a film A24 would release today. The potential drawback is that this flick is bleak. It will challenge you, it will upset you, and it will stick with you for days. It's not a feel-good movie by any stretch of the imagination, but for fans of serious, thought-provoking cinema and psychological dramas that aren't afraid to explore the darkest corners of the human soul, The Rapture is an essential, one-of-a-kind film. And at the #1 spot, we have to give it up for the series that basically wrote the playbook for the modern Christian apocalyptic thriller, the original Left Behind trilogy. For a whole generation, these movies, starring Kirk Cameron as journalist Buck Williams, were the Rapture. This trilogy throws you headfirst into the immediate aftermath of millions of people vanishing into thin air. We follow a small group, a pilot, his daughter, a pastor, and a journalist, as they form the Tribulation Force to fight back against the rise of the Antichrist, Nicolae Carpathia, who's taking over the world with a smile. Look, are these movies cheesy? Absolutely. The early 2000s CGI and some of the acting are pure gold for bad movie nights. But they're also incredibly ambitious and have a ton of heart. They managed to build an epic, sprawling story of global conspiracy, war, and spiritual warfare that is just a blast to watch. It's the granddaddy of the genre for a reason. While the Nick Cage remake gets more attention these days, this original trilogy is a must-watch for anyone who wants to understand the Rapture movie phenomenon. It's an iconic, wildly entertaining, and essential piece of apocalyptic cinema. Alright, that's the list, everyone. What's your go-to apocalypse flick? Is there a gem I missed? Drop it in the comments below. And hey, if you dug this video and want more recommendations to get you through whatever comes next, do me a solid. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.